Hey there, fifth graders. Welcome back. Module 2, Lesson 2. Make sure you have your things to help you be successful. Your book, whiteboard. Sometimes we use it, sometimes we don't. Pencil. And then here's what hopefully you're going to be able to do. You can estimate products. That means the answers to multiplication sentences or expressions by rounding to a basic math fact. So this is all about rounding and estimating. Nothing too hard, nothing too tough, just rounding some easy numbers or two easy numbers. So let's get started. So number one, they want us to round the factors, and the factors are the numbers we multiply together. We call those factors. To estimate the products, that's going to be what our answer should be close to or around, a reasonable answer. So look at number one. We have 597 times 52. Let's make this super easy. Do not get so detailed where it's going to be difficult. 597 is closer to 500 or 600. Hopefully you guys know it's going to be 600. 52, is it closer to 50 or is it closer to 60? It's closer to 50. Now we're going to use what we learned in the last lesson. Let's multiply our basic math fact. Here's the basic math facts, 6 and 5. What do I get when I multiply 6 and 5? You're going to get 30. And then you have two zeros here and a 0 and 50. So you have three zeros. That's going to represent the number 1,000. So we're going to put three zeros after 30 to make 30,000. So a reasonable estimate would be our answer is going to be around or close to 30,000 for number 1A. All right, 1B, 1,103 times 59. Well, 1,103 is very close to 1,000. Make it easy. 59 is close to 60. Make it easy. Here are your basic math facts right here. You've got 1 and you've got 6. That should give you 1 times 6 is 6. And then add 3 zeros plus another 0. That would be 10,000. So this is going to be 6 10,000s. That means we put 4 zeros at the end to get 60,000. So a reasonable estimate would be 60,000. We're going to skip 1C and then we're going to move on down to 2. It's kind of the same thing that we did up above, just in a different format. They want us to complete the table using our understanding about place value and our knowledge about rounding to estimate the product. So all about rounding to get our estimate of what the answer should be close to. So starting with B, 28,090. Make it super easy. That's close to either 20,000 or 30,000. I would say it's closer to 30,000. And we're going to multiply that by 420. Is that closer to 400 or 500? That's going to be 400. Then you have your basic math facts, 3 and 4. That's going to give you 12. And then you have these 4 zeros here, these 2 zeros there. That's actually going to be millions, a million. So we're going to have 12 million. We're going to have 12 and 6 zeros at the end. So we have a comma there and a comma there. Next one, we've got 8,932. Is that closer to 9,000 or 8,000? That's closer to 9,000. And we've got 59. That's closer to 60. Here's our basic math facts. 9 and 6. That's going to give you, if you know your 9s or your 6 times tables, that's going to give you 54. And then you have 3 zeros here and a 0 there. That represents 10,000. So that means you got to put 4 zeros at the end, so you get 540,000. Now the next one's kind of interesting because it's in unit form. It's not in standard form. So 89 tens, and that's quickly easy to do. That means 89 with a 0 at the end. So 890. times it by 63 tens, that also means 63, and add a 0. So now we can see the numbers, and then we can kind of round accordingly. 890, that's closer to 900. And 630 is closer to 600. So there's our basic math facts again, 9 and 6. Good thing we have that from the previous example, and that's going to be 54 with 4 zeros at the end to give us 540,000. Same answer as we had up above. And we'll go ahead and skip E and go on and do some problems on the next page. Now for 3, what they want us to do for number 3, for each of the following expressions, let's box in the word expressions. Expressions are these guys right here. These 4 expressions are just the problems without the answers. They want to know which of the following problems down below would 200,000 be a reasonable estimate, and explain how you know. Since they don't give us a lot of space, we're going to actually do our explanation with kind of step-by-step showing our work. And that's okay. We don't need to always write words. We can always make sure we're detailed with showing our work. All right, so 2,146, that's close to 2,000. So let's write that down. And then 12 is close to 10. Basic math facts, hopefully you see it. It's just that 2 and that 1. That gives us 2. And then how many zeros should we add at the end? We should add 1, 2, 3, 4. Because there's 4 zeros altogether. So this one will give us 20,000. So this actually does not give us a reasonable estimate as what they're looking for. So I'm going to move on. We got 21,467. That's closer to 20,000. 20,000. And then 121, that's closer to 100 than it is to 200. So our basic math fact of 2 and 1 is 2. How many zeros should we add? There's 4 in 20,000, and there's 2 in 1,000, so there should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that gives us 2 million. That is not going to work. Let's actually put a little X underneath the 2 problems that we did to show that this is not going to be a reasonable estimate. Going on to the next one, 2,146, that's closer to 2,000. 121 is closer to 100. So basic math fact, 2 times 1 was 2, and then how many zeros did you add? We have to add 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a reasonable problem that will give us a reasonable estimate. So we're going to put a little check. And let's see if the other one does. This is 20,000. This is 1,000. I'm already looking at it, and I know this is going to be way too big because there's a lot of zeros. There's 4 here. There's 7 there. 3 there. That means there would be 7 zeros after the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be 20 million. So that doesn't work out. So the third one is the expression that will give us the reasonable estimate of 200,000. For A, they want us to fill in the missing factors to find the given estimated answer. So we have the problems here. They want us to round the numbers so that they would equal the estimated product over here. So we've got 571, that's close to 600, and 43 is close to 40. Let's double check. 6 times 4, that does equal 24, and it looks like I have to add 3 zeros, and I do have 3 zeros in 640. So that one's good. 726, that's close to 700. 674, that's close to 700, not 600. Because if you look, 7 times 7, does that give us 49? It sure does. And we're going to add 2 zeros plus another 2 zeros. We're going to add 4 zeros altogether, so that would give me 490,000. And the last one, 8,379 would be closer to 8,000. And 541 is closer to 500. So let's double check. There's 8 times 5. That's going to be 40. So that means the 4 and the 0. After that, we're going to add 3 zeros plus 2 zeros. So we're adding 5 more zeros to the end of 40. And we do have 5 zeros there. So that means 4 million is a reasonable estimate. So let's look at number 5. A nice little word problem to get us started. There are 19,763 tickets available for the New York Knicks home game. If there are 41 home games in a season, about how many tickets are available for all of the home games or the Knicks home games? So hopefully that you have found out that since in this lesson we've been doing a lot of rounding. In this word problem, there's a word that's going to say, hey, don't find the exact answer, just give me an about answer. And hopefully you figured out the word about means to estimate. So that means we're going to take 19,763 and we're going to multiply that by the 41 games. And that will tell us how many tickets are available for the whole home games during the Knicks season. Now this squiggly equal sign means that we're going to be rounding. This is not an exact answer. We're going to do some rounding. So 19,763. That's closer to 19,000 or 20,000. Hopefully you know it's 20,000. And then we're going to multiply that by 41, which is close to 40. And we're going to say, okay, 2 times 4, that's going to be 8. And then we're going to add our zeros. We got 4 here and 1 here, so we're going to have 5 zeros all together. So 80,000 is our estimate. Now, what does that mean in the word problem? How many tickets are available for all of the Knicks home games? We're going to write a sentence. There are about, we need to make sure we put the word about since we're telling us we're finding an estimation and not the exact answer. There are about 800,000 tickets available. And you could also continue to write for all of the Knicks home games. I don't have enough room, but I did answer the question to meet the criteria. I gave the actual answer of 800,000. I put the word about and I described what does that 800,000 mean, and that means the tickets. So this is kind of a minimal sentence. You can further on use more description from the word problem. And the final one, number 6. Michael saves $423 a month for college. The question says, about how much money will he have saved after 4 years? So let's kind of review that one more time carefully because there are some tricky parts to it. Even though it looks very simple, some kids do some silly mistakes. Michael saves $423 a month for college. The question says, about how much money will he have saved after 4 years? Now, a lot of students that don't read carefully will automatically do 423 times 4. And that actually is not correct because this dollar amount right here represents every month. And if we multiply it just by 4, that's telling me how much money he earned in 4 months. We want to know 4 years. So we got to figure out, okay, well, how many months are in 4 years? So I'm going to go ahead and quickly erase this and go back to thinking, all right, there's 12 months in 1 year. There's 24 months in 2 years, 36 months in 3 years, and 48 months in 4 years. So I'm just counting by 12s. That's the fourth multiple of 12 is 48. So actually I'm going to write that this also means 48, and I'm going to abbreviate months as MOS. So we're going to find, first of all, we're finding the about answer, not the exact answer. So we're going to do $423. We're going to set up the expression, and we're going to multiply it by 48. That means about, by rounding, 423 is close to 400, and 48 is close to 50. Now, using our basic math facts, we got 4 times 5. You should know that's going to be 20. And how many zeros do I add after 20? I add 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3. So it looks like if he saves for 4 years, which is 48 months, and for each month he's saving about $400, that means he's going to be have close to $20,000 for college. So let's write our sentence out. So Michael will have saved about, make sure the word about is in there, about $20,000, and you can either put the word dollars after the number or include the dollar signs for college. After 4 years. So I'm getting a little more detailed with my description of what's going on in the word problem. I'm reusing a lot of the question's wording back in my answer. So that answers the question. Michael will have saved about. This about needs to be there, otherwise it technically is inaccurate. It's not, you're saying it's the precise number, and it's not. It's the estimation number. And make sure your ending punctuation mark is after your sentence. And part B is, will your estimate, so I'm going to put underline estimate, that means the answer that we had up in A, will it be lower or higher, so I'm going to circle lower or higher, than the actual amount Michael will save? How do you know? So we're not going to actually find out how much he actually will save with the exact dollar amounts. We're kind of going to look back at our problem and say, hey, what did I do? Well, I took 423 and I round down to $400. I took 48 and round up to 50, and that gave me $20,000. So what do you think? Will the estimate be lower than the actual amount, or will it be higher? This could be actually up to your opinion, as long as you provide some kind of justification, some kind of reasoning behind your statement that you're making or your claim. I believe that the estimation is lower than his actual amount. So I'm going to kind of write my sentence. I think the estimation will be lower than the actual amount because, now here's my justification, how I'm going to prove that my claim of it being lower than the actual amount is because I rounded $423 down to $400. Period. So I think because we rounded down 423 down to 400, that means our estimation is going to be lower. Even though 48 months went up to 50 months, it wasn't a big jump, but 423 was a big jump to 400. And so I think my estimation, it will be smaller or lower than the actual amount. And so this is what I'm going to use as my justification. And I would test that, I would have to multiply it all out to see if I actually was correct. But I provided a statement, my claim, I think the estimation will be lower, and I backed it up with a sentence because I round 423 down to $400. All right, and that ends our lesson 2 for module 2. We're going to get into some more multiplication strategies in the next one, so I'll see you on lesson 3.